Okay, so in this one we're going to talk about solving a system of equations by graphing. So you've got your notes in your notebook. We're going to talk about learning target 2. We're filling in this half of the notes. So an equation can come in two forms. It can come in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, or in standard form, ax plus by equals c. Okay, so we can either have the equation look something like this. Don't write this down, but just some examples: y equals 2x plus 3, y equals 1/3 x minus 10, y equals negative 2/3 x plus negative 6, so on and so forth. These are all in y equals form. You can easily find the slope and the intercept, so it's called slope-intercept form. Okay. Sometimes an equation comes to us as something like this: 2x plus 3y equals 10. And I've got all this other stuff over here other than just the y. So what I'm going to teach you how to do is how to change it into slope-intercept form when it's given to you in this format so that you can graph it. Because we know how to graph in slope-intercept form. So quickly we're going to go over the notes for how to graph if it's in slope-intercept form. So something like this. Step 1, you would graph the y-intercept, which comes from the b on the y-axis. Okay, so going to an example of this, once you've got that written down, if I have y equals 1/3 x minus 3, for example, I start with the plus b. I start with minus 3. So I see that I'm going to start by plotting a point at negative 3 on my graph. Then from there, I'm going to use slope, or the m in my equation, to find the next point. This means we're going to use rise over run. We're going to take our m and we're going to make it into a fraction if it's not already so. So sometimes it comes as a fraction, sometimes it doesn't. And if it doesn't, let's say it comes as like 2, we can change it to 2 over 1. Okay? And we either are going to rise up and run over if the slope is positive, or if the slope is negative, we're going to rise down and over to make a negative slope. Okay? And then the last thing is make sure you fill in all points. So when I go to my graph, I've got my slope is 1/3, so that means it's a positive. It's going to go up and to the right, and it's going to go up 1 and over 3 between all my points. And just like I said, the last step that I'd like you to make sure you do is get all of those points in there as you're going, okay? Get that line going here. There we go. All right? Pretty simple steps, all right? The other thing that might happen is if it's given to us in ax plus by equals c in standard form, I'm going to change it into slope-intercept form. So the steps to do that are as follows. First, we're going to cancel the ax term to move to the right side. Okay, so looking at an example of this, if I've got 3x plus 4y equals 0, actually let's change this problem. Let's make it 3x plus 4y equals, I don't know, 12, okay? Basically, in ax plus by equals c, the ax term is 3x. So I'm going to cancel that out. So I'm going to minus 3x from each side, leaving me with the equation 4y equals 12 minus 3x. I cannot combine 12 and 3x because the 12 does not have an x in its term and the 3x does. So I cannot combine these terms together. They're not like terms. All right? The next thing you're going to do is you're going to divide both sides by b. So in our equation, the b is the number that is in front of y. So in this case, it's 4. So I'm going to divide both sides of my equation by 4. So this will leave me with y equals, which is exactly what we wanted. Remember, our goal is to change this equation so that it's in y equals mx plus b form. And then when I divide this side by 4, I have to divide both parts. So 12 divided by 4 gives me 3. Keep the minus sign. And 3 divided by 4 is going to give me a decimal. So I'm going to leave it as a fraction, 3 over 4. Okay? And then rearranging it around just so that it's in slope-intercept form, let's change this to plus a negative 3/4, and then put the 3/4 x, the negative 3/4 x in the front, and the 3 in the back so that it's in y equals mx plus b form. So our third step would be to rearrange if we need to. Okay? So showing you another example of this. 4x plus 4y equals 16. We would take away the 4x from each side. Then we'll divide by 4, and we get y equals 4 minus 1x. Remember, 4 divided by 4, 16 divided by 4. Rearranging, this means y equals negative x or negative 1x. But we don't write the 1 in front of there, plus 4. Right? Make sure that you've got the note sheet filled out. The last thing is that a solution to a system, when you're solving by graphing, basically, if this is an optional step, but if they're not already all in y equals mx plus b, change all equations to slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Then graph both lines, and then write down the coordinate of where they meet. So remember, your solution will look like this, an xy coordinate. Okay? So go ahead and I'm going to stop the video, but you can make sure you have all of this written down and then ask me and I can get you some practice.